Happy Motivational Monday to everyone. Mm, oh, excuse me, how I get like caught up like that. But I just wanted to stay true to the promise to myself that I was going to go live on Mondays and Wednesdays, not necessarily at 8 o'clock the way I wanted to, because I committed myself to me and my husband committed ourselves to something. But I wanted to jump in here because I did a post earlier about people trying their best, and it's okay if their best is not good enough. So that was my thought earlier today. And because sometimes it's not, unfortunately. And we shouldn't like fear, obligate, or guilt someone into being a part of our lives, or we shouldn't feel that we have to let people into our lives, and we shouldn't feel a certain way if we want them out of our life, if that makes any sense. So I was thinking about all the agreements, deals, and contracts that we do daily. And as I was thinking about it, I'm like, man, there's a lot of power in that. So as I was working on my day-to-day, my primary job, I started getting notifications about some of the, I use my calendar. I'm a big calendar person. I'm a big reminder person. So I started getting notifications of commitments that I had that I set for myself just as a reminder. And as I was getting them, I was thinking, yeah, some of these I'm going to have to fine tune. I'm going to have to edit. I have to edit some of them. And so I was thinking, right when I'll push pause on it, but I was like, you know what? From this day on, when my reminder goes off, that I need to do what I said I was going to do when I set the reminder. So that for me, because I feel that we all need to have our own personal standard operating procedures. So number one, to build a habit, but to get comfortable in creating processes and how we deal with others. Because I do believe that we are still, even though others don't belong to us, we are still held accountable for the way that we teach them, that we treat them. So one of my reminders today was for a nail appointment for like 2.5 weeks from now. And I made a decision that I was no longer going to use those services anymore. So instead of, because I was in the middle of a project, instead of saying I'll do it tomorrow, I went ahead and kind of sent that email to let them know that, please cancel me. So number one, it'll open up a booking, open booking for her. And it also releases me from my word. Okay. So what I was thinking about is like every day we're making deals, we're involving ourselves in contracts and agreements that we're not necessarily aware of. So let's start, right? So an agreement that I made last, let's just say I'm just going to do this year, September, was to make sure that my daughter was in school, right? So now when these teachers send these syllabuses, their syllabus out, it now requires the parents to sign saying that even though my child is the student, that I also am aware and I'm being kept abreast of the class policies and procedures. So I was thinking, so school is one, right? As a parent, when we accept cable bill, any of our bills, when you first set up the account, is this really fine print at the bottom of it. And when we click that block, we really agree to the terms and the conditions for that benefit. So what I've been seeing, actually I see a lot, but a lot of people are complaining about a car company, a bank, cable, telephone. You complain about them, but guess what? You're still using them. So it's not that bad, whatever it is. It's not that bad to where you're not willing to get yourself out of the contract, right? And I get it. Some are outrageous, but sometimes if it's bothering you that bad, if you feel you're so right, cancel the contract, pay the cancellation fee, and be done with it, right? There's no need to take anybody on this journey with you when you're unhappy, and you can control it. I feel that we can negotiate our own life, and I feel that we can set the parameters with the 5 W's in how we allow people, organizations, you name it, you fill your own blank. We can set the parameters for with the 5 W's and how that we allow people to interact with us. Now, if you're that rigid in whatever you want, hey, you're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some, but they're your rules. If you feel like you're a slave to it, so you need to set some parameters, like for real. You really do. And it might be easy for you to write them out. I'm a big believer in writing stuff out, because when you write it out, you see it. These are your words. And when you said, because one thing you're going to do is keep on complaining, and you're not doing nothing. And so what people will look at you as is just like a complainer who's not action based. So take back the power of your own life. If you don't like something, fix it. If you don't like someone, tell them. Now, I do believe there's a right way and a wrong way to talk to people, regardless if they're the scum of the earth. In your opinion, I do believe that you can take yourself out of a relationship or whatever that is. I just feel that you should let them know, don't be weak. And, well, they'll figure it out because I send their calls to voicemail. Well, I think, that's kind of cowardly, for real. Because in owning your truth, and this is what it all comes down to, in owning your truth, you have to be able to say, this isn't working for me, and this is why not. Because folks will respect you more, and you will respect yourself, and understanding your why. And when you know your why, I think you move a little differently. So set your parameters on everything. Like, we make a deal. If my husband asks me, "You cooking this morning?" I said, "No, I'm eating oatmeal." So he said, "Can you made me some oatmeal?" Yes, that was a deal. That was an agreement. If I would have said I'm cooking, then he would have been looking at me like, "Where's the bacon? Where's the eggs? Where's the grits?" I said, "I'm not cooking this morning, but I'm making some oatmeal." He was like, "Okay, can you make me some too?" So that was an agreement that we both agreed to. There's no need for me to say, "Yeah, what you want," unless I wanted to. What else about these contracts? Just go through your everyday life. Even for those that have exes, or they're no longer married to the children's father, we have agreement with them. Heck, I do. My kid's dad, he's overseas. But one of our agreements is, we do about a post check every 2 weeks. I let him know what's going on with the kids, grades, you name it, plans for the summer. That's just our agreement. It's been like that for years. And, if we need to adjust it or whatever, we do. But we have agreements and contracts with so many people in place. You have an agreement with your mother. You have agreements with your sisters. For those that say, "Oh, we have a weekly Zoom call." If that don't work for you, then say it don't work for you. Because people will not know what you don't tell them. your employers. Tread lightly, though. I really say tread lightly, but I think everything can be addressed and talked about with with tact, different agreements, heck, or contracts that we make. Hey, you coming over tonight? Yeah, I'm coming over. I'll be there by 4. That was an agreement. That was an agreement. Now, we're not going into the details about legally binding agreements, but we're just talking about agreements. And when you start, as people say, flaking on other folks, that's when they start building these, I don't want to say it's a stereotype because we kind of help them build it. But when people are inconsistent, or when you're inconsistent, then they'll start saying, oh, she's going to be late. Oh, yeah. And by the way, so I was also watching Unhinged last night, and the girl had called her best friend and said, hey, let's meet at Darrow's in 20 minutes. And he said, 20 minutes, regular 20 minutes, or Rachel's 20 minutes. So that stuck with me because how many times, have we been late? We say, yeah, we're going to have dinner, we're going to have drinks, we're going to go out this time, and then you don't honor it. Or, people start beginning to plan on you being late because that's your regular. Well, just know that anytime you're late and you don't tell anyone because, oh, that's my homeboy, that's my homegirl, they know how I am. Well, they start building like a mental Rolodex. And that's who you become in their eyes. And you can't get upset when they start not including you into anything they're doing because you're always the late one. You're always the one that has the excuses. You're always that person. But you're the main person to say you never include me. Well, I don't include you because for the last 5-6 times you've always been 30 plus minutes late. You always reneged, in the long term, or you don't get mad when you don't get invited on a girls trip because you always got to, well, what had happened was. So every day, you just got to be aware of the agreements that you're making with people. You have to be aware of the contracts that you're setting yourself up for. But also, I just want to encourage everybody, like if it's not working for you, whatever it is, if it's not working for you, to say that it's not working for you. And if you guys can't come to a compromise in whatever it is, that with and in love, you can bow out of it. It may cost. So the cost may be a 10-year friendship. The cost may be a breakup, with your significant other. The cost could be so many things. But it all comes down to, what do you want? I never want to be a part of something when I feel that I don't have a choice in it, or if I feel guilted into it. And not just living your best life, but being authentic. Because I believe your life might not be amazing right now, but when you are true to yourself, you know that it's going to get better because you're no longer operating in a gray area. There's going to be rainy days. There's going to be sunny days. And I could take a bad day, or I could take a lonely day, or I could deal with not having brunch with an old friend if it was my decision, if I chose that I didn't want to do it. And I feel a lot of folks may have heartburn with it, or people don't want to be alone, or I've heard analogies, especially with men. A piece of man is better than no man at all. I got issues with that 100%. But that's just my own thing. I'm not going to judge anybody. But you really have to do what's best for you, because at the end of the day, you're the one you're looking at you crazy. Nobody else is the person who got what they wanted when you knew. Like, let's say you needed to work till 6 o'clock. You told your boss you would work till 6 o'clock, but you bailed out at 4:30 so you can meet your homegirl. After your daiquiris are over and the drinks, you can be like, oh God, did she send an email? Or I didn't honor my commitment. You're the one who's going to be toiling with that in the long run. So look at all the commitments that you have. Those walking groups that you have, that's a commitment. At that time, that's a commitment. If you know you can't get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, don't do it. They'll respect you more if you say, look, 7 don't work for me, versus holding up the whole team or the walking group because you're late. Hell, you don't even set your alarm to 7 o'clock in the morning. So how are you going to, be walking? But really, you can take back control of your life. Look at all your obligations. Look at in every way that you've extended yourself. Not just yourself, but your resources. Heck, I have reminders. I have reminders for my auto pay. Legit, I have a reminder on certain things that, number one, my Audible. So I've been subscribing to my Audible for like 2 years. Last night I looked at it, I had 12 credits. For the past 4 months, I've been saying, I'm gonna go pick out some Audibles. Because I don't need an Audible. I'm more of a hard copy book person. So I really like ordering books, sitting down, read them so I can mark them up, especially for life coaching and self-empowerment and motivation. So what I did last night, I had 12 credits, and last night I chose 12 Audibles. And today I put my Audible subscription on pause. So instead of me, like most people, okay, I'm going to get to it. Well, guess what? I've been saying that for 3 or 4 months. So now I have 4 more credits. I went ahead and actually did it today. So I really do. And there are all the things that I'm sharing. It's my everyday life. I'm telling you, like, I peel the layers back on myself very often, because as I'm growing, I'm realizing I'm realizing my commitments. I'm looking at what I want to continue doing, what I no longer want to continue doing. Some of my community service projects, they've shifted. Some of the stuff I was doing last year, I don't want to do anymore. That was what I needed then, but now I've grown to something else. So, like, just relook your entire life. Heck, relook. We got a 6-year-old in the house. We had to relook that little joker's bedtime because we had moved it up 30 minutes, but we realized that didn't work because that meant his 30 minutes. After we extended him 30 minutes, then we were up later. So in every aspect, relook what time you start cooking dinner. Look what time you get up in the morning, why you get up at that time. Look what time you take lunch, go for your evening walk, go for your afternoon walk. Your weekly calls with your girlfriends or your friends or your cousins. Relook everything. Heck, relook your bills on auto pay, because guess what? They do have a feature where it says, hey, would you like to change your due date? I'm at a loss. I'm sorry. Kind of caught me off. I had a friend talk about, I got to pay this bill, but there's a feature where you can call and say, like, I want to set this bill to be paid this day. Why are you incurring a debt, a late fee every month when you could pick up the phone for maybe 5 minutes and reschedule the date that you actually pay your bill? Not just ask for an extension. We're not talking about extensions. We're talking about making permanent solutions to better your life, or to better your quality of life, or to help you better achieve the goal that you're going for. So that's all I have. I just wanted to jump in here and say, really look at the things you agree to, because it's not necessarily in the form of a legal agreement or a legal document or like a contract. So when you say, Mom, when kids say, can we have pizza tonight? And you say yes, you just agreed to something. And or your girlfriends or your coworkers. So remember what you're saying yes to. Take note of what you're saying no to. If you find yourself overextended, just do like a recon. Look at everything that you do every day. And I would challenge you guys to look at all the calls you have coming in. If you find yourself running out of time for the day, be like, dang, I still got stuff to do. And you've really been at work for 8 hours. What did you do during your work day? How many personal calls did you take? How much did you surf Facebook or social media? Just audit your day. Audit your week. Just look at how much time you give people daily. And then also take note on these interactions in your day. Like, are they an emergency? Could they wait until after your work day? So the way to take back charge of your life, or to get ahead of life, sometimes you got to take charge of it back. You got to have the conversations. You have to look at what's no longer, like, that's just not me anymore. And it's okay to outgrow things, people, schedules. I revise my schedule once a month. Easily, because I give every habit that I'm trying to start, I give it 21 days to actually work. And at the end of the month, I'll see whether or not it's effective. I'll see whether or not I honored it and how it worked for not just me and my family. So on this Monday, I just really want to say, like, at any time, like, you choose the parameters of whatever you're doing. You choose the parameters that you're going to set for your business. You set the parameters for your spiritual life. You set the parameters for your professional life, your personal life, your entrepreneurial life. You set the parameters for it. So if you don't like how it's going, look at yourself, because no one, especially we're over 18, no one can make you do anything. And if someone can make you do anything, ask yourself how they got that much power. So, anybody have any questions? Y'all can feel free to contact me. My website is up, www.coachinthecity.com. I'm always posting stuff on my Facebook group, Coach in the City. So, if you want to join it for daily everything, affirmation, empowerment, motivation, love, kind words. My job is my purpose on life is to help everyone navigate their way to a better them. So thank you. I'm about to peel out because I actually have a conference at 6:00 that was scheduled, and I'm going to pull away so that I could talk to my kids before I go into this next meeting, and make sure that I give myself a break so that in going to this meeting, I can fully participate and be mindfully present. So love you all. Thank you all for jumping in. And I hope you guys have hope Monday was awesome for you. And if not, guess what? You always have Tuesday. So talk to you guys later. Have a good one.